All right, bro, we live.
Sac passé. What's going on, guys? My name's Alan.
And I'm Alex.
Welcome to the AMICY Theory channel.
I was like, what's the line? Guys, welcome back to another episode of us trying to figure out what the heck's happening in this world. So, today we've got another random information we're trying to figure out whether or not this is how the world operates. If it's not, it is what it is. We're here for the freaking information. So this is
like
called
the question.
What's really behind the ice wall in Antarctica? So without further ado, let's do what we're doing best on this video.
You gotta give them a disclaimer, just in case you guys don't see us in the next 2
We are
weeks or so.
We are good. Let's get popping.
Let's get it.
Antarctica is larger than the USA and Mexico combined, and yet we still know next to nothing.
What?
Ain't no way. What?
Wait a second here. Antarctica is larger than USA and Mexico
Hold
combined.
on, Now I gotta go do this real quick.
We've been lied to.
Bro, we know nothing. That's so crazy. We know nothing about it.
Did you get it right?
Bro, look at this.
What? Huh?
Like at first I thought Antarctica was like right underneath, like it was like just a strip. Like, you know how every time you were in school,
Yeah.
they would only show you the strip below Africa. That's why I used to think it was. They never
makes
show you
sense.
the full size of it.
Of course not. They're like, nah. Give them the truth? Crazy.
Right.
Okay, let's get it.
Larger than the USA and Mexico combined, and yet we still know next to nothing about what's hidden behind its menacing ice walls. So what's actually lurking down
Well, why does this keep going to like poor people quality? Okay.
Because
720.
people
near the South Pole? Well, gold-spurting volcanoes, human skulls, and blood-flowing waterfalls for starters. Folks, dress warm, because we're about to find out even more. Bones. It might seem like Antarctica is nothing but ice, and, oh, did we mention
Baby.
ice? But if we rewind the clock back to 71 million years ago, life was flourishing. There was no polar ice caps, it was far warmer than it is now, and Antarctica was reminiscent of a prehistoric Jurassic Park,
That's
with
crazy.
dinosaurs strolling around alongside a range of other animals. How do we know this? Well, back in 2016, a team of researchers stumbled across a huge finding on James Ross Island, which is right about here. No, it wasn't pieces of the Titanic, because that actually sank in the North Atlantic on the other side of the world. It was, in fact, a ton of preserved bones.
That's
These
wild.
bones, now considered fossils, were analyzed and
I guess like the middle, right? The little crater in the middle is kind of where they would have whatever horns were coming from there,
Oh,
right?
yeah. So I'm like trying to figure out. So could this be like the family of like the rhinoceros?
Fascinating. Because look at the shape of the one on the left, the triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things will kill all of us today. You're not penetrating to
Oh,
that.
for sure.
There's no way you can shoot through it. You know, thick that freaking. Oh my lord! Look at that. Look at the teeth.
Which one? The one in the middle? The middle
The one in the middle.
Yeah, that one, bro. One bite, you're done.
It's like a freaking.
Head off.
It's like a polar bear that has a freaking horn.
Yep.
declared to be anywhere between 71 and 67 million years old. Most of them were related to ancient duck-like creatures, but don't you worry. Of course, there were dinosaur bones too. Remember the Mosasaurus from Jurassic World? Well, yeah, they found evidence of that old beast floating around. A human
No way.
skull. Jump in the time machine and skip back.
One thing we definitely gotta start diving into it is like the Neanderthals, and like the other people. There's like, because I think I read somewhere that not everyone that's on the Earth is a descendant of a specific groups of humans. There's like a certain percentage of being full human versus like not. It's interesting.
Back a few decades further, and scientists actually discovered something even more intriguing. A human skull. Yep, back in 1985, researchers came across a human head, which was thought to have been from the early 1820s, making it one of, if
This is how diseases just kept spreading like wildfire. No gloves. These guys
Bro.
are just like, oh, this is
Bro.
crazy. Let me just lick it to see what
They
it
don't
tastes
care.
like.
What?
Jeez,
What's
bro.
standard precaution? They don't care.
Not the first landing in Antarctica. We say landing because it supposedly belonged to an indigenous woman from southern Chile and was found right about here. Yamana Beach at Cape Shiref on the South Shetland Islands.
Okay.
So you get the idea. Antarctica isn't just ice and penguins. It's a bone-riddled graveyard as well. Mountains under the ice. We're well aware of the immense amount of ice that covers Antarctica these days, right? The continent boasts around 90% of the planet's freshwater ice, with 99% of the landmass being made up from two enormous 3-mile thick sheets of the stuff, all up crossing roughly 5.4 million square miles. That's like the contiguous United States. 3,119,000, sorry Hawaii and Alaska, not this time, plus Argentina, 1,100,000, Kazakhstan, 1 million, and France,
Of just ice.
210,026, all rolled into one. With a landmass that enormous, you're probably thinking that there must be more to the story. And you're right, there is.
That's what I said.
Amazingly, there's actually loads more to find, including a mountain range. But we're not talking about the Transantarctic Mountains or Mount Erebus.
Yeah, no one's
We're
gonna
talking
go
about
for
the Gamburtsev mountain range, which is, ready for it, sneakily hidden away underneath the ice. Scientists actually discovered it back in 1958 when suddenly found themselves on thin ice within an area where it was supposed to be miles thick. The peaks below were discovered to be 9,000 feet high and close to 750 miles in width. Whoever thought that an entire mountain would be good at hide and seek, huh? Crystal spewing volcano.
Us.
You know what else is hiding behind that intimidating Antarctic ice
That's a
wall?
negative.
A volcano that spurts of crystals whenever it darn well feels like it. That's right, Mount
we need to go.
Erebus,
We
which
need
is
that
the
money.
second highest volcano in Antarctica,
Mount Erebus.
and the southernmost active volcano on Earth, actually shoots out crystals from its central vent, and has been doing so since way back in the 1970s.
Bro, are we not
These
going
little
out?
crystals are called anorthoclase and look like this. But they're not the only magic happening at this mysterious mountain. American geologists have also found tiny crystals of metallic gold in nearby snow, measuring
go.
up to 0.02 millimeters, so like teeny tiny. Sadly though, it's not enough to make us stinking rich anytime soon. The mountain only spurts about 80 grams of gold a day, and considering that it covers a huge area with a peak of 3,794 meters, good luck finding those microscopic specks. But how is this even possible? Well, Mount Erebus, being, a fiery volcano, creates lava. It's also one of the 3 permanent lakes of molten lava in the world. That hot as heck lava emits searing gas, and one of the elements in that gas is gold. Hallelujah! When that gas makes contact with the icy air, the temperature of the gas drops, cooling from over 1,000 Celsius to under 100 Celsius, creating tiny solids. This entire process happens within a couple meters of the lava. Cool, right? Speaking of gold, want to know how much yours could be worth in the future? Check this out then. The Blood Red Waterfall. Waterfalls are generally clear, correct? Sometimes they can be a little brown if the water is muddy, or white if the water is crashing hard. But you know what they're usually not? Red. Waterfalls are not red. Ha! Well, actually that's wrong. In reality,
The
behind
edit on
that
this is
ominous
crazy.
Antarctic wall of ice, they are. Say hello to the appropriately named Blood Falls over at Taylor Glacier,
Not
located
going
right
there.
about here. Take one look at that color and its ominous bubbling, and you'll understand how it got its name.
Some of these buddies
But what's
just
the
dying
deal?
under there.
Surely this isn't the aftermath of a gladiator battle or a massacre on ice. Thankfully, there's nothing menacing going on over here. The color is totally natural. Scientists initially thought that it was due to a collection of red algae. Hold the phone though, because that's since been disproven. After knocking their heads together and scanning the area beneath the falls, researchers finally figured out that it was all thanks to a network of rivers and a glacier down under the ice surface, all of which had flowing water that was abnormally high in iron. It was the iron that caused the reddish tint. Hold on a second. How can there be a flowing waterfall when the temperatures down there are colder than my ex-girlfriend's heart?
I was like, where's this going?
I'm fine. Well, it's because those underground waters have a composition that includes a high level of salt water, which, by the way, has a much lower freezing point compared to regular water. So the high salt level combined with the iron is the reason why the blood falls don't freeze, despite it being well below freezing temperatures at a mere
guy should be a
1.4
teacher.
degrees Fahrenheit, around negative 17 Celsius. Striped icebergs. Moving on. Most of the time, the icebergs down in Antarctica are either snow-capped and white or have a clear turquoise color reflecting the water and sky. That makes plenty of sense. You know what doesn't though? Green icebergs, and black icebergs, and royal blue icebergs. Yeah, weird, isn't
Antarctica
it? Well, they exist, and incredibly, they're actually
Australia.
rather common down near the South Pole. These colors aren't just solid blocks of ice that look like they've been mixed with some home brand food dye. Nope. The colors usually appear in striped patterns. It might seem crazy, but it's actually true. And there's a very simple explanation for it. It's all due to the particular elements that were present in the water when they froze. Frozen water with algae becomes green. Frozen meltwater becomes blue, and frozen water lined with various sediments usually becomes black. Have you ever found a fly frozen in your ice cube tray?
No.
Similar concept. 2 ATMs. Coming in way out of left field, let's give a quick shout out to the 2 solitary ATMs living in solitude down in Antarctica. Over at the McMurdo Station, which is the largest scientific basin across the entire region, there is actually a shred of civilization. We know it sounds nuts. But where do you think the researchers hang out when they're not climbing up Mount Erebus or playing tag with the penguins? McMurdo is home to some coffee shops, a general store, a post office, and a few other bits and pieces.
People live
And
there?
what do you need to buy things at these stores?
Scientists.
Money.
That's
Since
crazy.
1998, that pair of Wells Fargo ATMs have been the only means of withdrawing cash. People might not venture down into Antarctica's icy abyss very often, however. That doesn't mean that it's a lifeless desert. Wait, desert? Yeah, you heard us right. It might not have the sands of the Sahara, and you wouldn't think a place largely covered in snow and ice would be dry, but huzzah! That's the case with Antarctica. It's actually the driest place on planet Earth, officially classified as a
Past
cold
Sahara Desert?
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah, life in the desert. There are a number of endemic animals crawling, swimming, skating, and hopping around the area, some of which are cuddly and some of which are creepy and vicious. All mostly
one
hidden
looks
beyond
intense.
the ice wall.
Or the
Animals. First off, we've got the strange, potentially scary, yet definitely ugly sea pigs. These
Yeah, we did
so-called
here.
slugs of the sea have often been
Holy
called the
Jesus.
ugliest creature beneath the waves.
I would see that.
And it's not hard to see why. Then we've got our sea spiders. These little critters can actually be
Yeah.
found in other locations around the world.
Nah.
What are we
However,
doing
they're
here?
generally itsy-bitsy, growing up to a mere 1 millimeter.
Alex,
in
you see
size.
this in your
the
bathroom? Go
Antarctic,
ahead.
However, things have taken a nightmarish turn. Mother Nature has really outdone herself this time, creating a concept called polar gigantism.
Get out of here.
Which effectively turns these teeny tiny sea spiders into pants-wetting, shriek-inducing sea devils, growing enormously to have a leg span of 10 inches or 25 centimeters.
What?
No thank you. Far
We're good
friendlier
here.
are the emperor penguins. Phew. These cute as a button birds are the largest of all species of penguin, growing up to 45 inches and weighing up to 45 kilograms. And in that bitterly cold weather, we don't blame them for putting on a few extra pounds. The chinstrap penguins, by comparison, are a little smaller, but still just as cute. Rounding out our list of things hidden behind that menacing Antarctic wall, we've got the enormous bird that is the wandering albatross. The captivating blue whale, which is the largest animal ever known to have existed,
Oh, the blue
killer
whale?
aka the orca, which is actually rather friendly to humans, and finally,
everything
perhaps
else.
Antarctica's most violent creature of them all. Any guesses? No, not polar bears.
I was thinking
They're-
polar
they're
bear.
the ones that go up in the north. It's the leopard seal.
Oh, God.
Well, that's all for what's
What?
really hiding out down in Antarctica.
Why would you not show us?
Bro, that's frustrating. That's annoying. I was waiting for like the next one. Oh, okay, this one. Dang, they went by so quickly. Well, guys, I'm sorry. That didn't tell us anything.
No, it just
What
told us
we're
what
trying to
was
figure out the answers of what's
don't
happening
want us.
over the ice. But catch us in the next episode of the AMICY
Catch
Theory
us.
channel.
We
Guys,
want to know more.
click on that subscribe button below and join us to be a part squad. Please give us different ideas of videos to check out so we can get more and more knowledge. Who knows? One of these days we might get a chance to fly to wherever these locations are and see it for ourselves.
Check it out.
At all times, don't cheat yourself
Love thyself.
and keep it AMICY. Peace.
Peace.